Hi, Dr. Cloud. Thank you for taking my call.
You're so welcome. How can I help you?
So, I've had a very difficult relationship with my mother. She's very demanding, and I moved away when I was 18. And 10 years ago, she moved to be closer to me, which has been a very long 10 years.
Now, hold on a second. Hold
And
on a second.
obviously,
Wait a minute. Hold on. 10 years ago, you moved away from her?
no, I moved away from her 23 years ago.
Oh, 23 years ago. And you were how
Yep,
old
that's
then?
when I was 20.
20. So it was very difficult. Is that why you moved away? To get away from her?
No, I didn't know that that was why I was moving away. I've learned
No.
that.
You were just 20-year-old going, the world is my oyster. I'm going for it, right? And you went for it. You got
Yes,
away from
exactly.
mom and life was
Yep,
better, right? Okay, so you
yep.
were
And and we would
20,
talk. We
23,
we had a
you're
we had a close
43 now.
relationship as right, as what I thought. And she moved here 10 years ago thinking, okay, yeah, she wants to be closer to the grandkids and she's going to do this and do that. Well, little did I know she was moving so I could take care of her, so I could do everything for her. Um, and even my kids
Little
don't have a good
did
relationship.
you know. Little did you
Little did
know.
I know.
Now, wait a minute.
So,
This is actually, it's going to sound like I'm judging you, but I'm not. I'm actually this is going to flip in the end to where it's a good thing for you. But you really didn't, you thought she was moving to turn into Mother Teresa for you and your family? What
I
caused
don't,
that change? In other words, why?
what,
I'm trying to, if somebody's been so difficult and self-centered, that life is a lot better when you're away from them, then
right.
they decide to come. Wouldn't there be some part of you that would be, oh crap, unless she had done some major work and turned into
No,
a different human?
yeah, no, there was a little bit of, oh crap, she's coming. But, she's
Okay.
saying, she needs to leave where she's at and she wants to, get on her feet. And
I
obviously I
know.
had a baby at that point, the whole story. So I'm like, okay, well, this might be good change for her. I've built my life here, and am really stable and successful.
Okay.
But
I'm
I
just
guess,
trying, here's all I'm trying to do. I'm trying to help you get in the right part of your head where you can see her realistically, that unless there's been some wake up call and enormous growth in her life, I just want you to know who you're dealing with, because that's going to help you to set some limits and boundaries on the stuff she's doing to you now. That's all.
right. Yeah, no, I understand. I get that. And
Okay.
we obviously, well, 10 years ago, we went to counseling together thinking that, and like, we need counseling. We need, just a neutral party. And that was a sinking ship. That just was not productive. Um,
It
so
was
I'm at
not
the point
productive.
now where, no, it was not productive. She had it in her mind that I already knew the counselor ahead of time and she was set up and this, that, and the other thing. And
Oh,
I'm like, no,
oh,
no, no, no. I even found a counselor that was older, near her age, because she was 60 at the time or in her 60s. And, because if I found somebody younger, then they wouldn't be experienced enough.
yeah.
She's one of those people that she knows more than everybody and everything. And so she's a
Okay.
master
This is
manipulator.
what I was
Yeah.
talking about. This is who
Oh,
you're
yeah.
dealing
No,
with.
she's a master manipulator, and her whole life was manipulating my grandma. And when she came to Arizona and I would say no or put my foot down to things, that's when we would fight. Well, we wouldn't necessarily fight. I would just say no, and she would lash out at me with verbal attacks, this, that, and the other thing,
That's what
until I
dial
would give
tones are for. Oh, you'd give in?
in. Oh, yeah.
Claire.
She was living in my house.
Yeah, that's what the lock on the inside of the door is for. I'm
Oh, I
kidding.
know.
I'm kidding, but not at some point. Okay. I
Well, no,
mean, when you
let's
say
just
no
say
to
it that.
something and somebody begins to attack you, then, at some point you got to say, look, this isn't going to work if you're going to behave that way. But anyways, what is your
Right.
question?
So
What's
my
your question?
question is now, okay, she's almost 70, you're going to be 70 here. We live in Arizona. It's very hot. She doesn't have the best health. I've really tried to put up, boundaries and kind of stick to them. But she every day she calls if I answer, because lately I haven't even been answering. I just can't even handle it anymore.
Yeah.
I'm raising 3 daughters myself. I've got teenagers that I feel like I'm in this whirlwind right now with. And so I'm just trying the best way to handle her. Like if I go to the grocery store for her, I'll say, okay, fine, I'll go to the grocery store. How is it the best way to handle her expectations? Because if she could, she'd ask me to do something for her every day and expect that I do it every day. And when I do it, if I go to the grocery store and I buy the wrong thing, then guess what? I get to be told everything that I did wrong.
Okay.
So do I told her, there's apps on your phone. You can order groceries. You can do this and that. I don't have to physically do it. But no, it's too hot out. It's too this. Well,
Claire,
then you're going to have to wait till I'm free.
Claire.
Help.
This is why I started where I started. Remember I interrupted you.
Unresolvable.
Yeah. No, I'm not talking about where I started the show. Where I started with you was when she said she was going to come. I said, what reason did you have to believe that she had some big epiphany and was going to turn into Mother Teresa for you and your kids? Okay, there wasn't one. All right. And I said that for a very specific reason, which I said in the end was going to turn out to be good for you. So you're going to win here. Okay. Now, once you understand, do we need to talk longer for me to convince you that mom is interested, it sounds like, only in herself? Can we agree on that?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, we got that. All right. So here's how you have to look at it. When you say, how can I handle her expectations or whatever it is, that's not your job. Her expectations don't have anything to do with this because they're infinite, they're unlimited, they're unreasonable, and they're unsatisfiable, it sounds like, right?
Yes.
So we're going to take her expectations and send those off to the lottery commission because that's about the chances of those getting met. Okay?
Okay.
You with me on that?
Yes.
Okay. And instead of mom's expectations being our guide, we're going to let love be our guide. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Okay. So now Claire has got a big pie called her life. And there's different slices of that pie that need Claire's love.
Yes.
3 of those slices are teenage girls, right?
Yes.
Is there a husband in the picture?
Yep, there's a husband.
Okay. Then he's a big slice of that pie. All right?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah.
Is there a job anywhere?
Yep, there's a job, full-time job.
Oh my goodness, full-time. Oh, you got 2 full-time jobs and you got that one and mama. All right, so you got that big slice. Then there's probably are there other people in your life that you want to give to and help or support? You got friends or?
Yes.
Okay, now, all right. And then mama's got a piece of that pie too, right?
Right.
All right, so that's how we're going to start. One of my favorite verses It's about giving. It says, give as you have purposed in your heart, as you've made up your mind to do, not begrudgingly or under compulsion, for God loves a cheerful giver. Begrudgingly is when somebody puts pressure on you and you give in, like you would have to do with her, and then you hold a grudge because this is not good. Or under compulsion means pressure from the inside of your head, where I should do
Right.
this, this is my mother, blah, blah, blah. So we're going to get out of all that and we're going to go to love and purpose. And then what I would want you to do is think about, okay, I have a lot of people and things that are depending on me. Part of that I want to give to my mother. And then I'm going to fill out that what that piece of the pie looks like. Okay, Mom, I've looked at everything I want to do. Here's what I'd like. And I'm just making this up because there's no right or wrong here. But I'm going to say,
Sure.
why don't we, I'm gonna come by there every Friday and we're gonna go to lunch. Okay. And then why don't you have a list with you of if there's stuff you need, have a list, and that'll be our time that we go to Costco or wherever it is you gotta go or whatever. And then why don't we check in once during the week or something? Now there are other people in their scenarios where the list, my sister, for example, when my parents were elderly before they died, and she actually, her pie, she decided that she wanted to serve my parents in a much bigger way than I could or was willing to at that time, or because I was at a different season of life and work and family and all that kind of stuff. She went back and almost took care of them full time. That's fine too. But you got to figure out what that slice is going to be. And that's going to be the expectation, not her guilt or manipulation.
Right. Okay.
So start there and get some good voices around you that don't have the history. Some friends. What do other friends do to help their parents? Because I believe in helping
Right.
parents. I'm not saying
Oh,
I'm not saying
right.
flip her off.
Absolutely.
That's why we started with love. But I don't want
Right.
her expectations designing the program.
Right. Yeah, and
Okay.
it just becomes more than just giving back and helping out. It's these expectations and manipulation, and it goes on and on.
On
And
and
that's where
on
I've
and
had,
on and on and on.
yeah, I've pulled back a lot. Obviously, reading your book Boundaries was a huge eye opener 10 years ago when I thought I was losing my mind.
I can understand because as you describe her, if nothing is ever enough, then nothing is ever enough. And you will get manipulated and expected into oblivion where there's no you left.
Right. Yes.
And that's why here's your formula. Say no and empathize. No, Mom, I can't do that. Well, how can? Oh, I'm sorry. That's frustrating to you. Well, I thought you cared. I know. I'm sorry. It's hard for you, but I can't do it, Mom. Say no and empathize. Don't justify. Don't argue. Don't get defensive. Don't try to make up for it and do 12 other things because you can't do that. Just say, no, I can't do that. Here's what I can do. If you want that, I'd be glad to do it. But no, I can't do that. Oh, I'm sorry. That's frustrating to you. Say no and empathize.
Okay.
All right, Clara.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
I hope that helps, and get some good friends to call right after you talk to her, and maybe they can talk you out of the some of the guilt stuff. Okay, thank you for your call. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All righty, we are we're actually over time, but I had to talk to Claire because that's such an important issue for so many people that you might have somebody in your life that expects more than you can give. Imagine that happens. That's why I said expectations can't be our guide. Love has got to be our guide, and you get to choose how and to whom and in which ways and how much you are going to love somebody. You get to choose that. You're not infinite. You're not omnipresent. You can't love everybody all the time.